6:15, this is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Romesh Piris, read by Soundithavam. More areas in several districts isolated with immediate effect. The Department for Registration of Persons officers closed for the general public until further notice. The Minister of Tourism says the government has taken all necessary measures to control the third coronavirus wave. Permission granted to utilise Ayurveda hospitals to treat coronavirus patients. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. The validity period of drivers' licences extended by 3 months. The second phase of the Satosa Sahanamalla programme launched through Satosa outlets island-wide. In international news, new record deaths as virus engulfs India. And in sports cricket, Praveen Javikrama becomes the third Sri Lankan bowler to take 8 wickets on Test debut. The commander of the army and the head of the National Operations Centre for the Prevention of COVID-19 outbreak, General Shavendra Silva, announced that the following Gramaladari divisions in Colombo, Trincomalee and Nuwara districts are isolated with immediate effect. Accordingly, the Piliyandala police area in the Colombo district has been designated as an isolated area. In addition, Oz Hill and Anbuvallipuram Gramaladari divisions in the Trincomalee district have been designated as isolated areas. The Vayakada North, Kiriberia and Palamula East Grama-Niladara divisions in the Panadura South area and the Niladanda Hinna Grama-Niladara division in the Nuwara district have also been isolated. The Minister of Tourism, Prasanna Ranatunga, says the government has taken all necessary measures to control the third coronavirus wave. Speaking during the COVID committee meeting in Minuwangoda, the minister said the government has directed attention towards strengthening health units to face any situation in the future based on changes in the global pandemic situation. While attention was also drawn towards the COVID-19 vaccination program, Minister Ranatunga said COVID-19 vaccines are due to arrive in the island over the next few weeks. State Minister Sisira Jayakodi says that permission has been granted to utilise Ayurveda hospitals to treat coronavirus patients. He stated that the State Minister of Primary Healthcare, Epidemics and COVID Disease Control, Dr. Sudashini Fernandapulle, has permitted Ayurveda hospitals to treat COVID-19 patients. Accordingly, State Minister Jayakodi said Ayurveda hospitals in Rajagiriya, Navinna and Pallekele have been granted permission to commence treating COVID-19 patients. The number of COVID-19 recoveries recorded in the country has increased to 97,242. The Epidemiology Unit of the Ministry of Health said 764 patients were discharged during the past 24 hours. The number of COVID-19 cases confirmed in the country rose to 109,862 following the detection of 1,716 patients yesterday. 11,933 persons are currently receiving treatment for the coronavirus at several facilities across the country. 1,108 suspected COVID-19 cases are also under medical observation at present. Meanwhile, the Director General of Health Services confirmed 687 persons had died due to the deadly virus infection. The Commissioner General of Motor Traffic, Sumit Alakon, says a grace period has been granted for drivers whose licences had expired on the 31st of March 2021. Accordingly, the Department of Motor Traffic has decided to grant 3 to 6 months till the 30th of September for the renewal of licences starting from the 1st of April 2021. The Commissioner General further said that this decision was reached due to the prevailing coronavirus situation in the country. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
The Minister of Trade, Dr. Bandula Gunawardena, announced at a media briefing held at the Ministry of Trade today the launch of the second phase of the Satosa Sahanamalla programme. The Satosa Sahanamalla programme is being implemented under the concept of the Minister of Trade to provide consumers with the opportunity to obtain high-quality products at the lowest possible prices, avoiding the hassle of purchasing essential items in the face of the rapidly spreading COVID-19 epidemic in the country. State Minister Professor Channa Jayasumana says that the second dose of the Oxford AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine has already been administered to a total of 85,653 persons in Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka commenced rolling out the second dose of the vaccine last Wednesday, with healthcare workers and other frontline workers among the first to receive the second jab at several locations across the island. According to data from the Epidemiology Unit of the Health Ministry, a total of 928,289 persons had been vaccinated with the first dose of the vaccine in Sri Lanka. The Chief Station Master of Jaffna Railway, R. Pradeepan, says compartments with sleeperette seat facilities have been added to the Jaffna-Colombo night mail train. Passengers will be able to avail this facility starting from Friday the 7th of May. Seat bookings can be reserved before this date through the Jaffna railway station. A total number of 187 persons have been arrested for violating quarantine rules during the past 24 hours ending today at 6 a.m. The police spokesman, DIG Ajit Rohana, said most of them have been arrested from the Trincomalee area. Also, during the searches carried out at 12 entry and exit points in the Western Province, more than 250 persons have been warned for violating quarantine regulations. That's local news.
Finished? You have 1 more hour to write the exam.
Yes, sir. Always early.
Receive early cash advances and an unmatchable bonus at maturity from Sri Lanka Insurance Early Cash.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
All officers of the Department for Registration of Persons will be closed until further notice after taking into consideration the prevailing COVID-19 situation. However, persons who wish to obtain the National Identity Card for urgent requirements, such as examinations, interviews, and to obtain a passport, can obtain information by calling the main office in Colombo via 0115 226 126 and 0115 226 100. Repeating those numbers, 0115 226 126 and 0115 226 100. The public can also contact the Southern Province Office via 091 222 8348 and the Northwestern Province Office via 037 222 4337. Additionally, the Eastern Province can be reached via 065 222 9449 and the Northern Province Office via 024 222 7201. That came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
In Watchlight, the number of passengers being flown into the country will be limited to 75% for a period of 2 weeks from tomorrow, the 3rd of May. The Civil Aviation Authority informed all airlines to limit the number of passengers arriving in Sri Lanka on board flights from 4 a.m. tomorrow to 75. The chairman, Upul Dharmadasa, said the decision was taken owing to the prevalent coronavirus situation in the country. The limited number must include only Sri Lankans, tourists and seafarers. He revealed a further decision on limitations will be taken after 2 weeks, and that came to you in Watchlight. Moving on to a bulletin of world news. In the headlines, new record deaths as virus engulfs India. Israel observes Day of Mourning for religious festival dead. And 4 ISS astronauts return to Earth. India has recorded its highest daily coronavirus death toll since the pandemic began, a day after it became the first country to see more than 400,000 new cases. Its health ministry said 3,689 people had died within the past 24 hours. Prime Minister Narendra Modi met the health minister this morning to review the crisis. Hospitals are battling to treat patients amid a chronic shortage of beds and medical oxygen. Distressing images of families begging for hospital beds and life-saving supplies have been emerging for more than 10 days, while morgues and crematoriums remain overwhelmed. Israel observed a day of mourning today for 45 people crushed to death at a Jewish religious festival, with flags lowered to half-staff and questions raised about accountability for one of the country's worst civilian disasters. In accordance with Jewish tradition, funerals were held with as little delay as possible. More than 20 of the victims of Friday's disaster on Mount Meron were buried overnight after official identification was completed. The victims died when an overnight annual pilgrimage by large crowds of ultra-Orthodox faithful to the tomb of a second-century Jewish mystic, Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in northern Israel ended in a stampede. 4 astronauts, including Japan's Noguchi Soichi, have returned to Earth on board the SpaceX Crew Dragon after spending more than 150 days at the International Space Station. The capsule entered the Earth's atmosphere shortly after 2:40 a.m. U.S. Eastern Daylight Time on Sunday. The capsule was retrieved by a recovery ship that had been on standby. The astronauts came out of the hatch one by one, being supported by crew members. The Japan Aerospace Exploration Agency, or JAXA, says all 4 astronauts are safe. And back to the headlines of the world news. New record deaths as virus engulfs India. Israel observes Day of Mourning for religious festival dead. And 4 ISS astronauts return to Earth. That concludes this bulletin of world news. And looking at development news, the Sri Lanka Bureau of Foreign Employment has authorized licensed foreign employment agencies to recruit workers for technical services in Japan. The maximum fee that can be charged from a qualified employee recruited for the relevant profession is only 350,000 rupees. The SLBA fee has notified that it is illegal to charge more than the maximum fee that can be charged by an employer, and that legal action will be taken against employment agents who charge higher fees, and their licenses will be revoked. And moving on to sports, it's cricket. Praveen Javikrama chipped away at Bangladesh, who went to tea on 112 for 3, starring at a difficult road towards survival in the remaining 4 sessions of the second test. The 22-year-old left-arm spinner has so far taken 2 wickets to go with his 6-wicket haul in the first innings. Javikrama has now become the 3rd Sri Lankan bowler to take 8 wickets on test debut, equalling Akila Dhananjaya and Ajantha Mendisa's hauls. Sri Lanka had earlier declared on 194 for 9 in their second innings, with Dimuth Karunaratne top scoring with 6-6. He struck 7 fours and a 6 in his 78-ball innings, which took him to 428 runs in the Test series. At stumps, Bangladesh 177 for the loss of 5 wickets, falling short by 260 runs. That's sports news. We'll look at business news next.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
The Sri Lanka Institute of Nanotechnology, a public-private partnership for developing advanced technologies, said the island's medical regulator had approved its manufacturing facility to produce a coronavirus test kit based on RT lamp technology, which will give quicker results. The National Medical Regulatory Agency had last year validated the kit at several state hospitals. Manufacturing of trial batches will commence soon, which will then be followed by commercial production of the Slintech lamp. That's business news, economic news up next.
Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news. Courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Sri Lanka surpassed 1 billion rupees exports in March 2021 after a lapse of a 6-month period. As per the customs statistics, earnings from merchandise exports recorded double-digit growth of 62.47% in March 2021 on a year-on-year comparison, the March figure being $1,066.1 million. Earnings from merchandise exports increased by 11.51% in the first quarter of 2021 to $2,954.53 million compared to the first quarter of 2020. This growth could be attributed to the gradual lifting of COVID-19 restrictions restrictions imposed within the country and globally. That's economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
The Department of Meteorology has issued an advisory for severe lightning in several provinces and districts. Thundershowers accompanied by severe lightning are likely to occur at several places in the Sabragamo, Central and Western provinces and in the Galle, Matara, Kurunegala and Badulla districts. The advisory says heavy rainfall above 100 millimeters can be expected at some places in the Western, Sabragamo, Central and Northwestern provinces and in the Galle and Matara districts. There may be temporary localized strong winds during thunder showers. The general public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damages caused by lightning activity.
Weather report was sponsored by
Dialogue, in partnership with the Ministry of Education, introduces Nanasa, a trilingual educational mobile app with video-based lessons for grade 1 to A-levels. Now your child can study with ease on your mobile with no subscription fee.
To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. More areas in several districts isolated with immediate effect. The Department for Registration of Persons Officers closed for the general public until further notice. The Minister of Tourism says the government has taken all necessary measures to control the third coronavirus wave. Permission granted to utilize Ayurveda hospitals to treat coronavirus patients. COVID-19 recoveries on the rise. The validity period of driver's licenses extended by 3 months. The second phase of the Satosa Sahanamalla program launched through Satosa outlets island-wide. New record deaths as virus engulfs India. And Praveen Javikrama becomes the third Sri Lankan bowler to take 8 wickets on Test debut. That concludes this evening's news broadcast, and now it's back to your good friend and